What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to 86 Reviews. Thank you for dropping by, guys. I hope you had a really relaxing weekend. Today we will be taking a look at the new amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Captain America. So first up, the packaging. Here is the front, the top, and the bottom, the sides, and the back. So Cap here is number 7 in the series, and I have to say that it's definitely up there along with Wolverine, Spider-Gwen, and Deadpool as being at least one of my favorites in the Revoltech Marvel series. Now, I know Hasbro have been shoving Captain America figures down our throat for the past, I don't know, couple of years with, countless MCU repaints, the odd comic style variant of an already existing mold. And while we have gotten some pretty decent Cap figures, nothing truly felt new or exciting. So to get a Cap figure that is so stylistically different, it actually feels fresh, like it's something new, even though by now we've seen Captain America in 6-inch form a million times over. Yes, it is just another Captain America figure. Shield, head, hands, but it's the whole package that makes this figure just so much fun to pose. And I'm not just talking about the accessories, which are great and very useful, but it's when you pick it up, when you pose it on its own and with said accessories, that you start to think, hey, I never knew a Cap figure could do that, or wow, that actually works and looks awesome with this figure from that line or that figure from that line. Again, it is very comic and sometimes anime-esque in the way it's sculpted, so it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but the way I see it, this is just what some collectors need. Something out of the norm, something daring that, for me, who thought didn't need another Captain America figure, is truly a breath of fresh air. Alright guys, so I know I've been rambling on about how great this figure is, but there are actually two very small nitpicks that I do have that I do want to get out of the way before I move on to the rest of the review. One being that it is a little bit finicky to get Cap to stand in a vanilla pose, and you can see right here the waist and the chest don't line up. He kind of stands here on an angle, and that's because of how the Revoltech joints are placed within 3 parts: the chest, the abdominal area, and the waist here. It goes up in on an angle, so when you rotate him like that, he does dip down there on an angle like that, which is I guess kind of unavoidable, because of how it's constructed and all the articulation that you get, but that is one very minor nitpick that I do have. And the other one here is how loose the abdominal area here is, and the gap that you get when he's standing in that vanilla pose. But again, I do understand that it is to accommodate for his awesome articulation, which I would rather have instead of a really nice streamlined vanilla pose. But those are two very small nitpicks about this figure. No deal breakers, just want to let you guys know. So Revoltech usually draws inspiration from different artists, from different comic eras, and you can see here that the figure does borrow stylistic cues from the Marvel Now design. Here he is with the Marvel Legends, Marvel Now Captain America, and you can see here, the chest, the body armor, is very similar, right down to the actual legs, the boots, the gloves. You can even see here on the head sculpts that it is that helmet design with the painted wings on the sides, as opposed to the more traditional mask with the sculpted wings. There is that strap down there on the bottom. So yeah, just a very Marvel Now Captain America design to this figure. The head sculpt itself looks kind of anime-esque, especially here with the unmasked head. It is quite nice. The hair is really well done. Paint wise, you do get some shading, a bit of wash there on the lips, and overall the eyes are fairly nicely painted. The masked head does look like he's wearing a helmet, which he actually is. When you remove his face, you pull it out from underneath, so the helmet is actually a helmet, and you can actually have him holding it as an accessory, which is pretty cool. You can see here the A is sculpted in there and painted quite nicely. The wings, as I mentioned before, are painted nicely as well. And yeah, his eyes have come out really well, really nice as well. The blue there does stand out and does look pretty cool. So Cap here does have the advantage of choosing a costume design that mixes body armor and material into his costume, just like Deadpool, which really helps cover those Revoltech joints. As you can see, you can't really see them here on the shoulders, and I think it is a really good design choice. It does have, his body armor does have a lot of sculpted detail, and it actually does look like body armor. You can see here all the nice hexagon design that he has in his upper chest and on the back here as well. And though I am a fan of the more classic look, I do like this modern take, which gives him a more militaristic look to Cap, and it does make sense for, you know, Captain America to wear body armor. The material parts are done really well as well. You can see here on his arms all the stretches that go across his muscles there. On the neck, it's really well done here. You can see all the stretch marks, all the seams there, which is material, and just looks really great. You know, runs over to the back here as well, on his pants, you know, all those stretch marks there on his crotch, on his legs, just really well done. He's got, you know, some really nicely sculpted pouches, which are articulated here by two small Revoltech joints, so they don't get in the way when you do, you know, get him into poses, which I like. And you can see here, again, with these stretch marks on the back of his legs. I'm really happy that they did that. You can see there that it's just not a flat sculpted piece, but they are sculpted with all those lines and seams and wrinkles there, which is a really nice touch. Cap's gloves are really nicely done as well, some good sculpt work there, and we do get some paint application there on the straps with a silver buckle, and here on the boots, all the laces sculpted in, some seams there at the back of his leg, on his calf, and we do get some painted detail there on the bottom side, the underside of his boot as well. Overall, the paintwork is pretty sharp, no shading or washes like we did get with Magneto, but you know, the colors that they did use, the blues, the reds, the whites, they are really deep, you know, really vibrant colors, so no complaints there at all. For articulation, you can get his head to move side to side, but it does kind of tilt up on the side there, up on an angle. He does move his head really far up, which is awesome, and he does look down quite far down as well. He does have a neck joint, which does give him some rotation, so you can get him to look down on an angle like that, which is pretty cool. His shoulders are on double dumbbell Revoltech joints, so they can move up and down like that. It is on a rotation, sorry, he can rotate them, but his shoulders do go inward when you do like that. He has that kind of shoulder cut there on the side like Wolverine and Venom, so you can get his shoulders to drop down even further. It is a little bit stiff, like so. You get more than 90 degrees for his elbows, but you do get a gap there on the back. His elbows do swivel, and you do get the swivel and hinge there at the wrist. There are two Revoltech joints running through his upper and lower torso, so you do get a upper torso swivel, but it does dip down to the side like that. There is a normal waist swivel, and you can get him to crunch really far forward and back like that. As I mentioned earlier, his belt, the sides of his belt are articulated. They are attached via two Revoltech joints like that, so they don't get in the way when you articulate his legs or his waist. He does do the splits, a full splits like that. He does have upper thigh cut that does go out on an angle. It's not parallel. His legs go up really high up like that. So he has a really nice knee joint. And I'm really glad that they included the seam that runs down the middle of his pants all the way through. He does have boot cut, and it does articulate in and out like that, which gives him a nice silhouette there, a very comic-esque silhouette, and it does rotate as well. And his feet do swivel side to side. He can get his foot really far back like that and quite far forward. He does have toe articulation and some really nice ankle pivot. Alright, so on to Cap's accessories. So first up, I got to talk about his shield, because that's probably his most important accessory, and it is a beautiful shield. It's really circular, and what I mean by that is when you compare it to the other shields that we've gotten in the past, they're actually kind of flat, but you can see here it's a really rounded shield. Everything is sculpted and painted really well. It's a nice glossy, really shiny metallic red, silver and blue that they've used there. On the flip side, you can see that it is painted silver, and you do get those, you know, brown strap detailing in there as well. So just a really nice shield, really decent size as well. So the way you get Cap to hold his shield is with these two handles, one for his left and one for his right. And you can see that there are some pegs at the bottom here that you slot into those holes like so. You grab Cap's fist, which does have a peg hole right there, and you peg it in. Once you've got it, you know, all prepared, you can slot his hand back into his arm, and then you grab the other strap, the strap that goes around his arm, and peg those in like that, much like the SH Figure Arts Civil War Captain America. So there we have it, and you can see here in the middle that he does have a peg hole right there, and that is for his shield throwing accessory, which is this clear plastic piece. This peg here is for the shield, that peg there is for his hand. Pop that in like that, grab his shield throwing hand, which has a peg hole right there, and it's always more difficult on camera, but there we go, you get the idea. And because of that peg hole in the middle there, you can get some flight stands, you know, and plug it in like so, and have Captain America throw it, you know, mid-flight, which looks, you know, pretty cool as well. A lot of display options. So to clip Cap's shield on his back, you get a Revoltech joint which plugs into the back of the shield like that. There's a peg hole there on Cap's back, and you just push it in and kind of fold it to have it plugged onto Cap's back, just like that. We also get an effect piece that slides onto Captain America's shield, and it kind of simulates bullets bouncing off his shield, which is a nice piece, and I'm glad that I included it. It's, you know, something different that that we get from our standard Captain America figures, and it does make for, you know, some pretty cool display options. And for hands, we get two shield throwing hands. Pretty cool. We get two fisted hands with the peg holes. We get a saluting hand. We get a gun holding hand. So if you have the Revoltech Deadpool, you can actually use one of his guns. I don't have my Deadpool here with me, but I'll definitely post some pictures up on my Instagram account. And we also get a finger pointing hand as well. For heads, we do get the unmasked Steve Rogers head, which I did show earlier in the review, and it does look really nice. We get two masked interchangeable faces, a normal stern looking face and a shouting face. And all you need to do is, you slot them in from under the helmet. Like so. So like Magneto, you can actually change the angle of the eyes with this eye angle changing tool. You can see here on the back that the eyes do have holes there, and you just push that tool in there and kind of change the eyes to the direction that you want them. You can see here that the tool does have some stress marks. My eyes are kind of stuck in there pretty solidly, so I'm not going to be doing that anytime soon, but there is that option of changing the angle of the eyes if you so choose. Now this figure isn't going to replace your classic Captain America in your collection, nor is he the be-all end-all 6-inch cap either, but he is a figure that gives the seasoned collector and the new collector something a little different from the regular 1/12 scale. Again, I know Captain America has been done to death, and we'll probably get 10 more Captain America releases throughout the year by various companies, but I really do feel that this was one that really benefited from the Revoltech treatment. Just a unique sculpt, amazing articulation, and hours of fun. So really highly recommended, guys. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, hi and thanks for dropping by. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me. You guys are the best. Have a great week, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.